here's a question for you. Is there any such thing as the spirit world? Is it possible that our ancestors still roam this great world of ours? Do Native Americans exist out here with us? Our next guest certainly believes so. I believe it with him. My name is Dacquino. Our next guest is amazingly Gil Tarbox.
How are you, Vinny?
Buddy.
How are you?
What a pleasure.
Thank you.
You and I go back, man.
Yeah, we do. We've done a lot of spiritual things.
Oh yeah, I remember raising the spirits.
Yes.
In
Van Cortlandt Park.
Cortlandt Park.
Yes. Yeah.
We were on Indian Field together.
Yes. Yeah, we were.
Calling on Ninum.
Yep.
And man, I'm telling you, I think he was with us. Gil.
Yes.
Talk to me. I know you have projects going. You have helped to keep Native Americans alive and well.
Yes.
And you, in fact, are a Native American.
Yes, I am of Passamaquoddy and Mi'kmaq.
Whoa, you
descent.
say that, you deserve to be it. Talk to me, Gil. Tell me about who you are, what you believe in. I know spiritualism is huge in your life.
Yes.
You brought me there. Talk to me.
Every morning I get up and I greet the day. I go out on my deck and light sage, and because the sage, the smoke carries words to the Creator.
Wow.
And I say prayers to greet the dawn and the day. I am
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine, in snow. I'll tell you, I've been out there some pretty bad weather in my pajamas even.
Oh man, that's a vision I don't want.
It's a good thing the spirits can't see very well. The Passamaquoddy are the people of the dawn. They're the closest or the furthest east that anybody can go in the United States, in Pleasant Point, Perry, Maine. Yes.
Wow.
And the Abnaki people are right along the coast of Maine. So we all see the dawn when the first place in the United States.
And you have been fighting to keep the spiritualism of Native Americans alive.
Yes.
I have attended your drum ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about the Ninum Mountain Singers.
I came to New York in 1999 from Salem or Danvers, Massachusetts. I was raised in Lynn, Massachusetts, the land of the Mystique Indians. Back then they called them Mystic. That's how the Mystic River and all that got named. And I came here in 99 and started to work for Marcus Dairy over in Connecticut. And it was a pleasure coming here, because when I used to come out here and visit, what happened was I could feel the energy of everything that was around here. 1/3 of the revolution was fought right here in the Hudson Valley. I mean, it's enormous. And the great part was that now I'm going to live here. So what can I do to help the spiritual world stay acknowledged here in the Hudson Valley? In Massachusetts, in Salem, Massachusetts, I held what was called the Circle of 1,000 Drums, where I was able to get 650 drummers at one time on Winter Island in Salem, Massachusetts, and drum the heartbeat of Mother Earth for 30 minutes. It was amazing. And it didn't take off very well here, but someone said, well, maybe we should have a powwow. And okay, it takes a lot of work. I went to the Historical Society, and they weren't too hip on it. I went to the Visitors Bureau, on the other hand, and they were gung-ho. They wanted it. And I says, great, this is great. So they helped me along, and we decided to do it on the third weekend of August of every year, the Daniel Ninum Powwow, to raise awareness to who lived in your backyard.
Yeah.
No one really knows who lived in their backyard.
Yeah, I went to those. I've been to a few of them, and it is amazing. It's exactly as you say, the energy.
Yes.
And to see, I mean, there was like a 90-something-year-old Native American doing a dance in the middle of the circle.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, oh my God.
The energy.
Oh, and all the different Native
costumes.
costumes.
We call them regalia.
Regalia.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Here in the East, the Native people weren't very colorful. as
Oh,
far,
yeah.
but out west, it's a whole different ball game.
Really?
Buffalo Bill Cody's Wild West show, that kind of like put a lot of color in their programs because he went everywhere and he did a lot of things, and he had Native Americans in there. And when he was falling off his top of his list, he went to the Indians and asked them what they could do, so they come up with all these fancy dances and all this colorful stuff to do it. And now they have contests at powwows. Like mine is not a powwow. No, my powwow does not have contests.
So your powwow
Yes.
is right here in Putnam County.
Yes, right in Veterans Memorial Park, Kent.
Right. And I remember when you were working so hard on the memorial
Yes.
in front of the park. Tell me a little bit about that memorial.
When we decided to have the powwow, we decided, okay, what are we going to raise? There's going to be some money left over because we're a nonprofit organization, so there's going to be some money left over. So what do we do with the money? Let's finish the monument that Dick Mozzarella and my wife Penny Osborne at the time started.
Dick
in
Mozzarella, man. You mentioned my heart. I love that man.
In 1995, they had put
Yeah,
a
he
monument
was
there.
the county historian.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
So we decided, okay, let's finish the monument. Took us 7 years to raise money through donations only. That's all we could take was donations to raise money to finish the monument. And today, it's probably, I think it's the prettiest monument
Oh, yeah.
over in anywhere.
It has a monument to Ninham,
Yes,
and then it has all the tribes.
it has the tribes that were in the area, the major tribes in the area. There were many tribes, but some of them were Wappingers and a lot of them were Mohicans.
Right.
A lot of people mistake Mohican for Mohegan. There's two different tribes.
Oh, yeah.
Mohegans were up north and were driven out by the Mohawk, but the
Right.
Mohicans stayed here for
I
a
know.
very long time.
I'm originally from Utica, New York.
Yes,
And I grew up in the Mohawk Valley.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so
you did.
We knew. When I was younger, I thought the Mohawks were the only kind
The
of
only Indians there
there
were. That's right. Everybody still thinks that too, you know.
Yeah. So your powwow
Yes.
doesn't only have tribes from this immediate area.
No.
Because I saw costumes
Yes.
all over.
Yes. They actually come in from everywhere to dance for us and to vend. We have many vendors that come from far away as Arizona and New Mexico, and they come here for our powwow because it's very well attended. The public here loves the powwow.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very family-orientated event. That we keep it that way.
Yeah, and there's food. There's wonderful
There's plenty of food, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what an event.
And most of the items that the vendors sell are made by that vendor, so it's authentic as
Yeah.
possible. And the dancers come from many places, New Jersey, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I have friends come all the way from Ligonier, Pennsylvania to dance, and that's actually 6 hours away from here. And they
Wow.
come up here she's my cousin, so she comes up.
Oh, there you go. I knew there was.
Yeah, there's a little trick there. But I have people come down from Massachusetts to help me feed the people.
Now, are these the Stockbridge?
Okay, what the Stockbridge, there's a misconception because the Stockbridge Indians are what's listed that went into the Revolutionary War. But what happened was in 1754, Daniel Nimham was the chief, the
Yeah,
war
I
chief of the Nimham, of the Wappinger people. And their village was up in Fishkill, where 82 and
Yeah.
52 come together. And
There's a monument there.
there's a monument there that was put by the Red Men, who were never even native.
Wow.
The Red Men were not native, and they were nice enough to put that monument there. He was going to fight for the Revolution, so for the French and Indian Wars. He was going to fight for the English. So what he did was, if he was going to take his 300 warriors, there was going to be no way they could be protected. So he took the entire village up there. And once you move into an area, they were Mohicans, and they came from Connecticut and Stockbridge. And so they became Stockbridge Indians because that's how the government does things. And they fought the French and Indian Wars. And unfortunately, while they were up there fighting for the French and Indian Wars, fighting for the English, the Philippe family, who owned 13 acres in Cold Springs, ended up leasing out all of Putnam County to his
including
family.
the Ludington.
Yeah, to all of the families that were around. And so he kind of like lost it, lost all the land that he had here, all the titles and everything. Unfortunately. So when the Revolutionary War broke out, he said, I'm not going to fight for the English. They're not very nice to me.
Well, and that's where we came together.
Yes.
I did Hauntings of the Hudson River Valley.
Yes.
I called you,
Yes.
because people said, hey, you definitely have to talk to Penny Osborne and Gil Tarbox
Yep.
because the two of them together do spiritual things, and you may be able to call upon Ninum. And I said, what are you talking about? and at that time, I was doing things with the paranormals over at Somali's Inn.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
And Ninum's name kept coming up, and they said, hey, his body is in Van Cortlandt Park on Indian
So
Field.
we thought.
And I said, what? And I said, whoa. I said, can you imagine? I said, do we know where the grave is? And they said, no. And I said, reminded me of George Denny. We don't know where he's buried.
Right, that's right.
So I was, at that time, working with a lot of these paranormals. And they said, what you need is a spiritual guide. And there you came.
Yes.
So we brought you and paranormals.
Yep.
Went down to Van Cortlandt Park.
Yes,
Amazing. Because we get down to Van Cortlandt Park, and I have all of these people. I have a historian.
Yep.
I have paranormals. I have the Indian drum. We have everything. We're ready. So we go down into this field, and one of the paranormal says, Vinny, I think it's here. I think this is the spot where he's calling to us from. So I turned to Gil and I said, Gil, the paranormal thinks this is his spot. So they start playing the drum. Gil and Penny are there, and they're playing the drum. And then all of a sudden, the historian, now check this out. The historian comes over to me, falls on her knees, and says, I feel him. He's standing here. He's kneeling here by the stream. And we all look at each other and go, there's no stream over here. There's no stream. And the historian says, oh my God, this is where the stream was. It was diverted.
Tibbetts Brook.
And
Tibbetts Brook
this
was
the
diverted.
spot.
Yes.
And she said, he's in pain. His arm is in pain. And the historian said, dogs from this area attacked them.
Yep.
Along with the British.
Yeah, anybody that was laying there in the field.
Yeah, and that they just put stones. The dogs were eating the bones
they were.
of these Native Americans.
Yep.
It was horrible. But we believe we called his spirit up that day. And I think the drum was a big help.
It was.
So this, that is the design of the whole drum thing. Is that right?
The drum represents the heartbeat of Mother Earth. So when we're drumming, we can send energy to where we would like it to be channeled to, because it is the heartbeat of the Earth, and everything in this planet, the Earth, comes from the Earth. All the clothes you wear, the food you eat, the water you drink, everything comes from the Earth. Yeah. It's our mother. It's what we refer to as our mother because of the fact that everything comes from the Earth.
And that's why we were able to call him up, or you were able to call him up, because on that day there were about 40 Native Americans who were ambushed.
Yes. Well, they weren't really. They were completely surrounded. They were there for a week fighting the British, and there was only 40 natives with Ninum, and they called them the Stockbridge Indians, but there was 37 Wappinger Indians and 3 Stockbridge Indians that were actually Stockbridge Indians. Ninum and his son were there, and they kept the British there for a week because the British were very stubborn. They've always been stubborn, and so they weren't going to go around and let these Indians just stay there. But Ninum made a statement that said, "I am a dry tree, and I will die here," and that's where he made his last stand. Him and his son, and they perished. He only got wounded, and the dogs did finally start to attack him, and that's when the farmers found him, and they buried him. But the massive grave, Woodlawn Cemetery made a lot of changes in that area, and they moved everything that was there, as well as relocating the brook. They have not told us, or will tell us where they moved the bones to, because we would love to be able to move them back up here somewhere.
Sure.
But
it's believed that those bones are there.
They're somewhere.
The story goes that after Ninum was wounded, and he was there by the stream, he more than likely crawled to a spot where
where the brook was.
died.
Yes, where he died.
And when the farmers came, that one of the dogs, believe
Yes.
it or not, had a human bone.
Yeah.
And he went there and saw all this massacre, and he buried them in shallow
Yes,
graves
he did.
with stones. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they put him in a massive grave, and then the massive grave was moved, probably for good reason. But the energy, regardless of where they have been moved to, the energy is still there
Still
from
there
the
with-
battle and everything that
Right, the
happened is
original
still there.
site. Wow.
Yes. We honor him. We go down there every now and then, and we'll play it. The Daughters of the Revolution put a monument down in Van Cortlandt Park,
Yes,
on
yes.
Van Cortlandt Park East.
Yeah, remember
For
we said-
them.
I have a photo
Yes.
of us standing
Yeah.
in front of that monument in the book.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they were nice enough to put a monument there, and we go down there every now and then. We'll drum for the spirits of the natives that passed away, and but that was August the 31st, 1778, and what happened with that was the nearest date that we could get to the powwow for that date was the third weekend in August.
Oh,
So every year now we hold the Daniel Ingham powwow to honor his spirit.
and
the
it'll be
spirit-
held again this year and next year.
Yeah,
so
hopefully
the end
next
of
year.
August,
Yes, end of
that's
August.
the place
Yeah,
to be.
it definitely is the place to be.
Nice.
We raise. We're a nonprofit, so we take donations for veterans, and the profits are sent to the veterans, disabled veterans.
The interesting thing about Ninham
Mm-hmm.
is that he is an American veteran.
Yes.
He fought. His son was a
Yes.
captain.
His son was a captain, and he was actually honored here in Putnam County as being Putnam County's first veteran, and it's in the VFW now.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. The people around here do like that, and Ninham came to my wife many years ago and said, "Please don't let them forget my name."
Yeah. Gil.
And I came on the scene, and I won't let it happen.
Check this out. Penny came and told me that.
Yes.
She takes me
Yeah.
over to Ninham Mountain
Yeah.
and brings
Yes.
me up to this tower
Yeah.
and says, there is the spot
Yep.
where he appeared to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a photo of Penny
Yes.
and you
Yes.
standing there with this
With
blur.
yes, with the spirit,
Now,
with
could
a spirit.
it be something in the camera? Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Is
but-
it more likely that it's his spirit? Yeah. You
Two
believe
separate
what you want,
pictures,
I'll believe what I want.
two separate spots on the mountain, and two separate spirits, because one was they're both attached to the ground, so they make them very strong.
I went up that tower.
Yeah.
And I stood there, and I'm telling you, I do believe that Ninham was standing right there. I could feel the cold.
Mm-hmm.
I could feel, but it's a strange kind of peace. It isn't like ghosts.
Right.
It's spirits.
He was a very gentle person.
Oh.
He was over 6 foot tall. All the Wappingers were over 6 foot tall.
That's
Yeah.
really strange. I had some wonderful conversations with Karopian,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
who was a
Yeah.
sculptor, and he did amazing.
He did amazing
research.
work. Yes.
Amazing.
He did a lot of
research
research on how the
who
bone
they
structure.
were, how
of-
they dressed.
Yep.
They were not. They did not dress like
No.
the Mohawks.
No.
These were very different.
Yes.
It was sort of a cross between American clothing and Native American clothing.
That's
And
because the influence was here, and
Yeah.
they were on supposedly Coletta Brett's property up in Fishkill.
Yes.
I mean, there was 90,000 acres that Coletta Brett's
and
father
check this
had
out.
gained.
You mentioned before that Ninham's land
Yes,
was taken by the
but
colonists.
yeah,
Well, he didn't take out his tomahawk
No.
and go
no,
scalp all of them.
he went to the courts. He went legally.
This man could read and write.
Yes, he could.
So again, and that was pretty amazing because when we think of Native Americans, because of Hollywood,
Yes.
we think that they're like illiterate,
Right.
You know, and none of them could read or write. Not true.
That's not true.
only
The
could they
Cherokee,
read or
the
write,
Cherokee have started their own
And-
alphabet.
And what a novel! What a movie is
Yeah.
sitting there.
Oh,
What's this guy do?
Yeah.
When he can't win in the American courts, you know what the guy does? Goes to England and fights against the lords.
Yeah.
You know, never got to see the king.
never got to see the king.
Never got to see the
Parliament at that time was in an uproar. Oh, like a lot of times.
Yeah. I went to England.
Okay.
I was trying to find documents of any kind. I truly believe that somebody must have done a newspaper article. He was there like almost a year.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was, you know.
Yeah, you
he
don't
had
take a
his
trip like
entourage.
that in just for 5 minutes or
No.
for a day.
Yeah, he went and did his thing.
Yes.
You know, they raised funds to
Yep.
get him over there, and of course, he had immediate victory.
Yes.
Wrong. He had
Right.
no victory, and this poor guy got burned.
Yep.
Comes all the way back home, brings his case back here,
Yep.
and
Lost again.
Lost
again in the courts.
that was it. And then
Yep.
they say, gee, then why did he side with the British when he was in the French and Indian War
Yep.
against the British? Well, because they were not for him either.
Right.
And he had this little battle.
Yes.
And then, even more sorrowful is that he ended up losing his life.
Yes.
Making the ultimate sacrifice
For us. Our freedom.
for
Yes.
American
Yes.
freedom.
Yes.
As a veteran of the American cause.
Yes. Absolutely.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. People don't realize that Native Americans, there were over 2.5 million Native Americans here when Columbus supposedly landed in San Salvador. Never made it to the continental United States. He landed in San Salvador. And the only reason why he sailed so far south was because he got the information from the Vikings up in Greenland. That's why he headed south instead of west from Spain. But Native Americans have fought in every war this land has been involved in since the French and Indian Wars, which was the very first wars ever fought on this continent. It was the French and Indian
They were
Wars.
amazing warriors.
Oh, they were.
Knew how to fight.
They knew how to fight. Unfortunately, were they brutal? Yes. Sometimes people say that the English or the French started the scalping. No, actually, Indians did scalp long before the English even came here, and the British became here. They used to use it as a token to honor the spirit of the person that they just took their life of. It wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing, and they have found bones of that back early enough to know that it was long before the Europeans showed up on the shores. We call all the Europeans boat people. I used to know a Wampanoag medicine man. When he gave a speech, he always referred to all Europeans as boat people, because they did come over here by boat originally.
There's no other way to get here. No planes in those days.
But long before Columbus even landed on the shores.
There was another thing we have to address. You know, I spoke to one of my students
Yeah.
one time, and I talked to them about Native Americans when I was doing the book, and he said to me, "Yeah, but you know, maybe we treated them wrong, but now Native Americans are all rich because they all own casinos."
That's not true.
That is so not
That's
true.
not true. No, that's not true.
Yeah, some of the conditions on those reservations were not
No,
very
and they
good.
still aren't.
still are not.
They're still not very good. Drugs and alcohol has, just like from the beginning of time, that's how the Europeans used to get win over the native people, was by giving them alcohol, because they couldn't think straight, and they had no immune system to it, and they got whatever they wanted. They made them sign papers and give it them. Our concept of selling land was, if I sold you a piece of property, it was only for your lifetime. It was not for your family's lifetime, your daughter, it was just yours. And it wasn't. That's not how the Europeans took it. It was for life, from the end of time. Now
It's mine.
yeah, it's yours forever.
My children get it. Their children
Yeah,
get it.
and that's not how Native people, because we technically didn't own the land. We never really owned the land.
Yes, that's right. It's like owning nature.
Yeah, you can't
Mother
own
Nature.
something that's growing and replenishes itself every year. You can't do that. So our concept was totally different than the Europeans.
Yeah.
The clash of cultures was amazing, and that's really what it was a clash of cultures.
Gil, we have a little poster here.
Yes.
I'd like to focus on. We're unfortunately running through time pretty quickly. Tell me about this poster. This says the Nina Mountain Singers. There's a picture.
Yeah,
of
there's a picture
you
of
in
us.
your
Yes.
full regalia.
Yep.
And
We have a Birds of Prey person comes in from Dutchess County. He's an amazing person. Joseph Firecrow is a Grammy winner and a many-time NAMI winner. He performs for us. The dancers, this represents the dancers of many cultures, especially veterans. I'm a veteran of Vietnam and a survivor of the Tet Offensive, 1968, which is the worst time we ever had. This is the picture of the monument that we
monument
built
we were talking
for
about.
all of the Wappinger people.
Definitely
and the
go visit
Mohicans.
it. And
It's
across
amazing.
the street
Yes.
is the Veterans museum
Yes.
and the
Down below in the
helicopter
lower
and
part,
the tank
yep.
on the lower part.
In the lower part,
So,
yes.
hey, this is a day.
Yeah.
Bring the family.
Bring the family.
Go to the
whole time.
powwow. Go downstairs.
Yes.
In the lower field.
Plenty to eat, plenty to purchase. It's amazing there.
Yeah, it's
and
really
and
a
the shows, the dancers are amazing that we put on.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's in August.
In
That's,
August. Third weekend in August.
Third weekend in
Yeah,
August.
Always.
Sounds wonderful. Parting words. I mean, what do we want to say to these people? What do we want these people to know?
I would like the people to understand that other people have given up their lives for this land that we call free. It's not really free.
There's a line in a song that haunts me. Sometimes we think we own the land we landed on.
Yeah.
Just because we landed on
Just because we landed on it.
It's
mine, yeah.
Yo, there was someone
Yeah.
here before you got here.
Maybe not the moon, though. That's true. Maybe not the moon.
Speaking of the moon,
Ah,
the shirt
the shirt more or less is a symbol of the wolf howling at the moon, and that's calling us the Inner Mountain Singers logo or whatever, our symbol. That we are singers, and wolves are always the singers in the wild.
Wow. So they're symbol. And all these necklaces you wear.
This was made for me many years ago, and it has two ties on it, one for the Creator, one for the Mother Earth, that I have to say a prayer for every time I put it on.
Wow.
Yes, and this is the other one is the Vietnam flag colors of the occupying forces. The hawk is me.
You were a Vietnam?
I'm a Vietnam veteran,
Vietnam
yes.
veteran.
I was there in 67 and 68 during the Tet Offensive. And a survivor, I should say. I made it through, but I don't know how I made it through without a scratch, but I did.
I don't know how you made it through the show, because every time you touch your necklace, you touch your mic, the crew is
They're
like,
going to kill me, right?
Don't touch the mic. Don't touch the mic.
The flag behind us is the Mohican Nation. They call the Stockbridge Muncie brand, and it represents all of their clans. And Ninham was the Wappingers were of the Wolf clan, but the Ninham family itself was a otter.
Oh, really?
Yes, a lot of people don't realize that his personal clan was the otter.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know how otters are. They're the most playful there are in all of the world. They love everything.
Well, listen, my man.
Yes.
Your message
Yes.
is a clear message.
Yes. We're still here.
Still here. They're still here.
Yes.
We're sharing
Yes, we are.
the world with them.
Yes.
Just because their bodies are gone does not mean their spirits are
That's
gone.
right.
The spirits of Native American are alive and well.
Yes.
And some of them will be visiting with you and all of you at the powwow.
That powwow.
Go to the powwow.
Third weekend
It's
in
a
August.
Wonderful event.
Yes.
On top of the fact that it's a wonderful celebration
Yes.
of heritage,
Yes.
it also
It's free.
is free. Any donations that you do make
Yep.
go to the veterans.
Yes.
What a wonderful way to spend the day. You've spent a wonderful day with
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you so much for being here, Gil.
Thank you,
I
man.
can't
Thank you for
thank
having me.
more, my
Thank
man.
you. All right.
It was such a pleasure.
Right. Thank you. My pleasure.
Truly a treat.
Thank you.